Consent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Doug Gross, Chair of New York Creates. I would like to welcome everyone to this meeting. I will now do a roll call of the directors participating in today's meeting. Michael Abbott.
Present.
Dr. Mengling Chow.
Present.
Heather Hage.
Present.
And Kristen Proud.
Present.
I'd also like to recognize the advisory representatives designee, Ian Rosenblum, who is the designee of the Chancellor of the State University of New York. In addition, I would like to recognize the member representatives, Ryan Farrell, representing the Research Foundation of the State University of New York, and Dr. Andrew Russell, who is representing SUNY Poly Foundation. I'd also like to recognize the officers who are participating in the meeting today. David Anderson, Paul Kelly, Rebecca Borden, Scott Bateman, Timothy Taylor, and Patricia Buckland. I would also like to ask everyone to mute their computers when they are not speaking to minimize background noise. Also, please identify yourself when speaking and making a motion. For voting, we'll call out each director's name for their vote so we can accurately record the vote. I'll now ask if anyone has a conflict of interest with respect to the items on today's agenda. If so, we'll make an appropriate disclosure on the record now and we'll recuse you from the meeting from any discussion or vote with regard to this item. Hearing none, we'll continue. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes of the New York Creates meeting of August 29th, 2024.
So moved. It's Kristen Proud.
Thank you, Kristen. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mengling Chow.
Thank you, Mingling. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, I'll ask each director for their vote. Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chow.
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Kristen Proud.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Now I'd like to introduce Michael Abbott, Chair of the Audit Committee, to present the Audit Committee report. Michael.
Thank you, Chair. You have before you New York Creates Resolution number 35, FRMC Resolution number 198, and FSMC Resolution number 212, engagement of the auditor for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and adopt the New York Creates Resolution number 35, FRMC number 198, and FSMC Resolution number 212. This would approve the extension of an engagement with KPMG. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved by Mengling Chow.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Kristen Proud.
Thank you, Kristen. By way of background, at its meeting on May 12, 2021, the board authorized New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC to engage KPMG to perform the audit and review their tax filings for an initial term of 3 years, with 2 additional 1-year renewals upon mutual agreement of the parties, beginning with the year ending June 30th, 2021, and for any audit-related projects as may be necessary. KPMG has completed an initial 3-year term of service, and the corporations now seek to authorize to engage KPMG to audit its financial statements and review its tax filings for an additional 1-year renewal term, as authorized by the previous resolutions. The cost for each corporation for the audit services includes a 3% increase from last year, and the cost for the tax services ranges from a 2.8 to a 3.57% increase over last year. The Audit Committee approved the resolutions described in the memorandum provided to the board in the advance of this meeting, including recommending that the board approve the same action. So the requested action is to approve New York Creates Resolution number 37, FRMC Resolution number 199, and FSMC Resolution number 213. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask each director for the vote on the motions. Dr. Gross,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chow,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Joan McDonald, Kristen Proud.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Thank you. We also have before you New York Resolution number 36, the appointment of general counsel for New York Creates. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and adopt New York Creates Resolution number 36, approving the appointment of a general counsel.
Doug Gross,
I'll move it.
make motion. Yeah.
I'll
Thank
second, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Effective April 19th, 2024, New York Creates President Anderson appointed Senior Associate Counsel Rebecca Borden as acting general counsel on an interim basis pending completion of the selection process for such office. The board approved and ratified the appointment of Ms. Borden as acting general counsel on June 27th, 2024, pursuant to New York Creates Resolution number 29. Ms. Borden has continued to perform her duties as acting general counsel in an exemplary manner and in recognition of Ms. Borden's dedication, commitment, and outstanding work. New York Creates President Anderson requests that the board approve Ms. Borden's appointment as general counsel effective October 28th, 2024. The audit committee approved the resolutions described in the memorandum and provided to the board in advance of the meeting, including recommending that the board take the same action. So our requested action this morning is to approve New York Creates Resolution number 36. Is there any discussion?
Mike, I just want to take a moment to commend Rebecca. She's been extremely responsive to all the inquiries that I've had, and we've had some good back and forth. So I just want to offer my congratulations and look forward to working with her more in the future.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. I see some head shaking. Yes, that's certainly positive, and that's been my experience as well with Ms. Borden. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I will ask each director for the vote on the motion. Dr. Doug Gross,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chow,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Kristen Proud,
Aye.
and I also vote in the affirmative. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for the audit committee report. I'd like to now introduce Kristen Proud, Chair of the Finance Committee, to present the Finance Committee report. Kristen?
Good morning, everyone. So the first item from the Finance Committee this morning is New York Creates Resolution number 37, FRMC Resolution number 199, and FSMC Resolution number 213, the amended and restated procurement policies and guidelines for New York Creates FRMC and FSMC. Could I have a motion, please, to consider and adopt these resolutions?
This is Mike. I make the motion.
Thank you, Mike. A second.
Doug, a second, please.
Thank you. So New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC are seeking to adopt amended and restated procurement policies and guidelines. The purpose of the policy and guidelines is to promote open and free competition in procurement transactions to the maximum extent possible, and to structure the purchasing processes and sourcing strategies to ensure that the goods, services, and technologies acquired by the corporations are the result of transparent, objective, and time and cost-effective decision-making and risk management. The policy modifies and clarifies existing definitions and solicitation requirements by providing specific policies for non-competitive procurements and specific methods for soliciting competitive procurements as determined by applying price thresholds as defined in the policy. It also sets forth the approval processes for procurements which exceed total purchase amounts or price thresholds. The Finance Committee discussed and approved the resolutions described in the memorandum that was provided to you in advance of this meeting and make the recommendation to you that the board approve the same actions. So the requested action is approval of New York Creates Resolution number 37, FRMC Resolution number 199, and FSMC Resolution number 213. This time I'll open it up to see if there are any questions or comments on the policy.
This is Mike Abbott. Just like to comment. I'd like to thank President Anderson and the team for putting these together. I know it's been something that's been on our, agenda or list of things to do to update these policies. So I'm happy to see that it's been accomplished this time. So thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, Mike. Anyone else? All right, we'll move to the vote, starting with you, Mike.
Aye.
Dr. Gross,
Aye.
Dr. Mingling Shao,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. So the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The next item from the Finance Committee is New York Creates Resolution number 38, FRMC Resolution number 200, and FSMC Resolution number 214. This is the amended and restated acquisition, disposition, and lease of real property policy and guidelines. Could I have a motion to consider and adopt New York Creates Resolution number 38, FRMC Resolution number 200, and FSMC Resolution number 214, please?
This is Mike. I make the motion.
Thank you. A second.
I'll second, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. So New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC are seeking to adopt the amended and restated acquisition, disposition, and lease of real property policy and guidelines. The purpose of the policy is to provide clarity regarding which types of real estate transactions are covered by said policy and to set forth the approval process for the various types of transactions so as to ensure the outcome of each real property transaction is the result of transparent, objective, and time and cost-effective decision-making and risk management. The Finance Committee discussed and approved the resolutions described in the memorandum that was provided to you in advance of this meeting, and the Finance Committee makes the recommendation that the board would approve the same actions today. So again, the requested actions are approval of New York Creates Resolution number 38, FRMC Resolution number 200, and FSMC Resolution number 214. I'll open it up for any questions or comments.
Just a small thing. Actually, first I'll second in the context of this what Mike said about the prior resolutions on procurement. I'm glad to see us cleaning out, and I'll compliment Rebecca on her hard work on this too. A total nit and non-substantive, but in the second whereas clause of Resolution 200, there's a very minor typo in the spelling of corporation. I just ask us to clean that up. Thank you.
So noted, Heather. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So we'll move on to the vote with that one typo to be cleaned up. We'll start with Mike Abbott,
Aye.
Dr. Doug Gross,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Dr. Mingling Shao,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, please. So the ayes have it and the resolutions are passed. The next item from the Finance Committee is New York Creates Resolution number 39, FRMC Resolution number 201, and FSMC Resolution number 215. And this is the adoption of amended Finance Committee charter for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC. Could I have a motion to consider and adopt these resolutions?
This is Doug. Motion made.
Thank you. Second.
A second, Mingling Shao.
Thank you. So the corporations seek to amend the Finance Committee charter to include the duties given to the Finance Committee under the two policies just adopted by the board. This includes approving or referring to the board contracts for the acquisition, disposition, or lease of real property and proposed procurements over certain total purchase amounts or price thresholds under the aforesaid policies. The Finance Committee approved the resolutions described in the memorandum provided to the board in advance of this meeting, and the Finance Committee makes the recommendation to the board that they approve the same actions. So the requested action is approval of New York Creates Resolution number 39, FRMC Resolution number 201, and FSMC Resolution number 215. Are there any questions or discussion on these items? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. Mike Abbott,
Aye.
Dr. Doug Gross,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, so the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The next item is New York Creates Resolution number 40, FRMC Resolution number 202, and FSMC Resolution number 216, creation of advisory committee and adoption of advisory committee charter. Could I have a motion to consider and adopt New York Creates Resolution number 40, FRMC Resolution number 202, and FSMC Resolution number 216, please?
I'll move it, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. A second.
Doug, a second.
Thank you. So New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC seek to create an advisory committee as authorized by New York Not-for-Profit Corporation Law to carry out the duties set forth under the two policies that were just adopted in previous agenda items by the board. The advisory committee would be authorized to review all contracts and or leases contemplated by the corporation in connection with real property owned by or to be acquired, sold, or leased by the corporation as defined by the amended and restated acquisition, disposition, and lease policy and guidelines, and to review proposed procurements contemplated by the corporation over certain total purchase amounts or price thresholds defined by the amended and restated procurement policies and guidelines. Based on such review, the advisory committee would be tasked with preparing reports and making recommendations to the Finance Committee and to the full board. In addition, the board seeks to adopt the advisory committee charter that was provided to the board in advance of the meeting to govern the work of the advisory committee and approve all functions assigned to the advisory committee therein. The Finance Committee reviewed and approved the resolutions described in the memoranda provided to the board in advance of the meeting, including recommending that the board approve the same actions. So the requested actions are approval of New York Creates Resolution number 40, FRMC Resolution number 202, and FSMC Resolution number 216. Are there any questions or comments on these resolutions? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote, beginning with Mike Abbott,
Aye.
Dr. Doug Gross,
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao.
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, please, so the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The next item is a lease agreement for off-site parking. This is related to FRMC. I would ask for a motion to consider and approve a license agreement for off-site parking. Is there a motion?
I'll move it, Heather.
This
Thank
is
you,
Mike.
Heather.
I'll
A
second.
second.
This is Mike.
Thank you, Mike. At its meeting on February 6, 2024, the board authorized FRMC to enter into a revocable lease agreement with Crossgates Mall Company, Newco LLC, which we'll refer to here as Crossgates, for off-site parking for its employees, visitors, tenants, and contractors to accommodate construction activities related to the construction of NanoFab Reflection on the Albany Nanotech campus. The license is for a term that commenced on February 15, 2024, and will terminate on February 18, 2025, with renewal provisions. FRMC now seeks to amend the license to add 100 parking spaces at Crossgates Mall, bringing the total to 450 parking spaces in order to accommodate some of the on-site parking spaces that will be lost while an existing on-site lot is replaced with a parking garage that is being constructed. The cost for the additional 100 parking spaces at Crossgates Mall is $2,576 per month during the term and any renewal term, for a total of $11,681 per month for the total of 450 parking spaces at Crossgates Mall. The Finance Committee reviewed and approved the resolution described in the memoranda provided to the board in advance of the meeting, including recommending that the board approve the same action this morning. So are there any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. Mike Abbott,
Aye.
Dr. Doug Gross,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. So the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. At this point, I will turn it back to you, Dr. Gross.
Thank you, Kristen, for the report. I'd like to now move and request, is there any new business to be considered? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. We'd like to provide an opportunity for public comment. If you have one, please introduce yourself and keep your comments to 2 minutes or less. And seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to the date of the next meeting, which is to be determined. And once finalized, it will be posted on the website. At this point, is there any further business to be considered? Okay. If there's no further business, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. It's Kristen Proud.
Thank you, Kristen. Second?
Mike, I second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. At this point, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay,